Hello everyone. We're already 1/3 of the way done. So this is a reading of my old-ish / first draft of my Hetalia Fanfiction Hetaoni Unheard Screams, Chapter 4. So let's begin. That was way too close, Andrei commented while walking with Tsvetan through the second floor of the house. The two had been wandering around trying to find a way out of the house. The house almost seemed like a derelict that either no one noticed or no one cared about. The house was said to be destroyed so many times, yet it was still around. How come this house is still around even after supposedly being supposedly destroyed so many times? Tsvetan questioned. Maybe the fiends of this house keep rebuilding it. There is no way such creatures could rebuild this house so quickly. There has to be something more to it. The crashing of something falling in a nearby room made both boys jump. This gave them enough incentive to keep searching. Some time had passed, and the duo were exploring a room close to the third-floor stairs. Andrei was shuffling through a photo album when he came upon something unexpected and disturbing. In the album, there were photos of Andrei and Tsvetan together. The photos seemed to have been taken by a stranger from afar, stalking them. Andrei recognized the clothes worn as costumes Tsvetan and him wore last Halloween. Tsvetan looked at the album from behind Andrei. How? Tsvetan seemed lost for words as Andrei flipped through the photo album. There were pictures of other students, specifically of Gilbert and Elizabeta. Who the heck took all these pictures? I don't know, Andrei replied, terrified but at the same time enticed by the odd collection of photos. Andrei found one page, the picture of Tsvetan and him being close with each other, but something was different. A large red X crossed both of them out, with the word "No" written in the same red pen written all over in what Andrei assumed Russian. On the opposite page there was some sort of manifesto written in the same language. If only I could understand this. Andrei took the photo album, and the two were about to leave the room when Tsvetan noticed something off about the dresser up against the wall. He walked up to it and pushed it until he found an aperture in the wall. It had been covered up by the dresser. Oh, it looks like a secret passageway. Tsvetan led Andrei to the passageway, and they crawled through it. The small opening seemed to lead to a room that had been locked. Tsvetan was about to crawl out when something covered up the exit. He stopped in his tracks. What is it, Tsvetan? Something seems to have covered up the exit. That was when he saw it. The same disgusting monster kneeled down to the hole and stared Tsvetan dead in the eye. Tsvetan let out a horrified scream and backed away. Get out! We need to get out! Andrei looked back toward the entrance and froze. Another monster had begun to crawl through the hole. Tsvetan tried to shove Andrei, but Andrei stayed put. Why aren't you moving? We're trapped! Tsvetan came to the horrifying conclusion that the monsters had worked together to get them. Andrei was clinging to Tsvetan, sobbing. Tsvetan felt the pang of failure. He began to question why he had even gone through the hole. He had led his boyfriend and himself to their deaths. I'm sorry. I really am sorry for everything. The monster that came to the entrance was trying to grab at Andrei. That was until shouting was heard from where it had come from. Get out, you big brute! A feminine voice shouted. It's us you want, right? The monster glanced back at Andrei, almost as if it were saying that it would be back, and it left the hole to chase after whoever had shouted. As soon as the creature left, Andrei led Tsvetan back the way they came. Once out, they ran out of the room with the other beasts close at their heels. Gilbert wandered through the basement with the light of his flashlight abating by the minute. He was looking through the bookshelves of a room, reading through books that mostly had anecdotes in them. Heavy footsteps rang out in the hallway. Gilbert looked around for a place to hide, but there was no closet to hide in, or even a bed to hide under. Gilbert put himself between a bookshelf and a desk and turned off his flashlight. The room was pitch black, and Gilbert sat down and tried to keep as quiet as possible. The door creaked open, and something came in. Gilbert bit his bottom lip to try and keep himself quiet. The creature walked around the room, searching for something. Sweat trickled down Gilbert's forehead as the monster walked toward him. The tension in the air was so thick that Gilbert could not move a muscle. The monster's breath pervaded through the air and almost made Gilbert cough from how rotten it smelled. Eventually the creature left and Gilbert slowly got up. When the footsteps could no longer be heard, Gilbert exited the room and went away from where he had heard the footsteps. Tsvetan and Andrei entered the third floor after getting away from the monster. I thought I recognized the voice of that girl, Tsvetan said. It sounded like Eliska. Why would Eliska come here? There's no way Jakub would be able to convince her to come here. I don't know. It did sound like her. The two went through the left hallway. They entered the first room and found that it was a simple room with a piano. Andrei and Tsvetan walked up to the piano and noticed some papers scattered around the keyboard. Some papers were picked up and looked through. The familiar red pen was used, but this time the messages were written in English. One paper read, "They're gone. They're all dead. I'm alone. So lonely." At the end of the paper, there was a citation with the person's name. The person's name was Dmitri. Andrei looked at another paper, but there was just ramblings written on it, not making any sense. The next paper did not fare any better, with messed up drawings and a mix of English and Russian written sloppily. This Dmitri person must have lost his marbles. "I don't blame him," Andrei replied. "This place is a place that could only exist in nightmares. I hope that we can escape." "We will. It's just frustratingly hard to find an exit." "How do you know that we will be able to find an exit?" "I swear on my life that I will find an exit, even if I can't escape. At the very least, I want you to escape." "Me?" "Tsvetan, you can't be serious." "Andrei, we nearly died on the second floor. I resent the thought of us being torn to pieces by those creatures. Even if I am unable to flee, I do not want you to go through the possible pain that I would go through." "But, Tsvetan, I could never leave you behind," Andrei said, tears welling up in his eyes. Before Tsvetan could answer, heavy footsteps were heard from afar. "Dry your tears, we have to find a safe place, and fast." So much time had passed that Tsvetan did not know whether he was coming or going. His feet ached from walking so much. He almost felt like a walking, rotting corpse, and he desperately wanted to purge himself of this feeling of death. At last a small room was entered. It did not look like much until Tsvetan looked under the bed. He pushed the bed away with help from Andrei, and they found a hole in the floor. Andrei grabbed one of the pillows from the bed and dropped it into the abyss. It did not fall very far, so both boys went down there. A small hole in the floor of the abyss showed that the secret floor was in between the second and third floor. Don't ask me how this works. I freaking have no idea. I don't even think I knew when I was writing this. A door was found to the left of the opening, and the pair opened it and walked in. They were surprised to find a whole secret network and not just a single room, like they thought they would find. This entire secret floor seemed to satiate Tsvetan and Andrei's desire to find a safe place. Who would build such a huge secret floor? Who knows? Surely whatever lies here must be important, since it was not placed in any known floors. The exploration of the floor began by going into the first room. A single bookshelf stood by the door. Upon investigation, the books all had epithet. I know that's not the correct way to use that word, but I was desperate at the time of writing this to use it. Titles, but nothing of importance inside them. I think whoever owned this house was a huge bookworm, since there are so many books lingering around. This mansion has more books than our school library, Andrei added. I would know, since the library is like my third home. Third home? There is my house, and I could not forget your house. Oh, yeah. I also just remembered the bookstore. You know, the one next to the cupcake shop. We should go there after we escape. Do you really think now is an appropriate time to bring that up? Sorry, I'm just trying to get my mind off of how scary this place is. I mean, I've been through haunted house attractions before, but there's nothing more bone-chilling than this. Well, I don't reproach you for trying to lighten up the mood. Tsvetan and Andrei looked through the books once more. The atmosphere once again became ominous. Tsvetan wished the discussion had not ended so he could forget about the fear, but he did not want the monsters to be attracted by the sound they were making. This eerie atmosphere seems to be pestilent no matter where we go. On the opposite side of the door, there was an old television. A VHS tape was partially inserted into the player. Tsvetan pushed it in and began playing the film. Thankfully, the volume was not blasting through the walls. Andrei turned around from investigating the bookshelf and watched the short videos playing on the television. The films seemed to be family videos, with everyone looking normal and happy except for one boy. This particular boy seemed to always be looking around suspiciously, as if expecting something to come out during the recording. As the films progressed, he was shown to be more of a loner compared to the other kids. It was almost as if he was a harbinger for something disastrous that had yet to come. That boy seems to be worried about something. The footage slowly turned darker when it came to the subject matter. Tsvetan and Andrei could not believe what they were seeing or hearing. Eventually, they could not take it any longer, and Tsvetan turned off the television and pulled out the VHS tape. He thought about taking the tape with him, but every time he looked at the tape, lamentful cries of pain and agony rang through his head. He could not bear to think about what he had seen or heard. Do you think we should take the tape with us? What is the point of taking it? It's not like anything can be done about what happened in there. Yeah, all of that stuff. The pair left feeling empty on the inside over what they had just seen. It just seemed like this house was getting more and more torturous no matter where anyone went. Well, that was the end of chapter 4. Thank you so much for watching / listening. And I will see you guys next time to read chapter 5. See you guys later.